For Life community, this is Dr. Rob Van Bergen, and we're back for another 10-minute Monday training session. Today, I want to talk about eye health and the electrical potential of the eye. Now, electrical potential is something I throw around a lot, but I don't really know if I ever really explain what it is. Essentially, it's the amount of energy that it takes to move a charged particle from one point to another within an electrical field. So when you are sick or you're suffering from nutrient deficiency, the electrical potential of your cells will decay, hindering reparative activity within the body. So in order to continue to make new cells that work, a healthy cell must maintain a voltage of negative 25 millivolts, while simultaneously keeping the ability to rise to negative 50 millivolts on demand. And it needs to be able to do this to allow for cellular repair to take place. So if a cell has poor electrical potential, it's not functioning properly, blood flow, oxygenation, the ability to repair is going to suffer. Now, microcurrent therapy offers a simple, non-invasive way to maintain the electrical potential of the cells in your eyes. Through the stimulation of your cells, you can restore electrical potential and ensure that the cells within the eye are functioning as they should. So you get proper oxygenation, you get proper tissue repair, degeneration can be halted. This kind of integrative approach to eye health functions by building a foundation of appropriate nutrients, ensuring proper oxygenation, and ensuring the electrical potential of your eyes through microcurrent therapy. Now, I'm often kind of advocating this. We used to have an eye health support kit of supplements that can be taken. Unfortunately, due to COVID, the company shut down, and so we no longer have the supplements available on our website. However, I will say that you still need to find those supplements somewhere. Lutein, zeaxanthin, and L-taurine are the trifecta of supplements. Now, they are not going to help you if you don't have a way of enhancing circulation to your eyes, because you're not going to get those nutrients where you need them to be. But in combination, they prove to be very, very effective. So before we get on how to treat the eye, we should first explain how the eye works. So I think that this mini 10-minute training might be a little bit more than 10 minutes. I'll try my best to keep it within that time period, though. And I want to bear in mind on here that I'm not an eye doctor, or I'm not pretending to be one, but I have spent significant time studying the eye because microcurrent for eye health is something that a lot of people are interested in. So how does the eye work? Your eyes are the window to the world around you, all right? But we often don't really understand all the little things that go into making them work. There are several major players when it comes to eyes. And if any of these critical functions are damaged, then we're going to run into vision problems. So the first things first, let's talk about the rods and the cones. So in your eye, there are photoreceptors. These cells are involved in converting light rays into electrical signals. And there are two types of photoreceptors in your eye. There's rods and cones. They are named according to the shape of their outer segment. So each retina located at the back of the eye has about 120 million rods and 6 million cones. So there's a lot going on there. Rods are highly sensitive to light. They're located near the retina's outer edges, and they're used to help us see in low light situations. This type of photoreceptor is also used for peripheral vision. So some people have better peripheral vision than others. Cones, on the other hand, are found in the retina's central area. These are weakly photosensitive, and they come to play in bright light situations. And they're responsible for color vision and are principally used during the daytime. We also have the fovea in the eye. The highest density of cones is found in a region of the retina called the fovea. That begins with an F, not a PH. The fovea is the part of the eye responsible for sharp, focused vision. So, for example, when you focus intently on an object in the bright light, such as like the title of a book, your eyes will adjust to project the image of the object directly into the fovea. And this sends a signal to your brain, which allows you to see the letters in sharp detail. In contrast, if you're trying to see something in dim light, you may notice that you have better luck seeing the object with your peripheral vision. And this is because your rods work better than your cones in low light, as we've already mentioned. Okay, there's also ganglion cells in the retina. Ganglion cells work to send electronic images to the brain. The bipolar cells, they're kind of like transistors. They assemble the images, like when a TV receives a signal and it assembles the image. The cones are like the antenna that receive the light signals. There's macular cells. These are the wiring system of the retina, providing voltage to the eye. So this is kind of the damage to these, or optimizing these is important. Damage to these is bad. Optimizing these is important because this is going to help to maintain that voltage. They are the first cells to die in any macular disease. And this is why you start to see macular degeneration, is because the macular cells are so badly impacted. These are important structural cells, and they help maintain the stability of the macula. They help to store chemical compounds in them that support good vision as well. Next, we have the choroid. The choroid is the blood supply for the retina, also coming into play here with microcurrent, which we'll get to soon. Sufficient blood flow brings oxygen and nutrients to the entire retina. So most eye problems are related to these issues. And so making sure we increase blood flow via the choroid is essential to good eyesight. The macula is composed of millions of photosensitive cone cells. And these cells are needed for focused central vision. The macula is highly sensitive, even when compared to the rest of the retina. The retina works by transforming light into electrical signals, which are then sent to the brain through the optic nerve. The brain then translates these into visual images for us to see. And so a damaged macula results in vision that appears dark, distorted, and blurry at the center. So people with macular damage might notice that. Okay, so that's kind of the structure of the eye. And I know it's probably not so helpful without images on the screen and everything to go through it, but it's just good to understand at the basis of what is the root of a lot of these problems. But which conditions can we treat with microcurrent? Well, we've seen scar tissue in the eye, which can happen as a result of surgery and other things. Clinically, we all know not much thought is given to scar tissue beyond how it physically looks. But the issues do run deep. And with eyes, the physical manifestation of the scar tissue is even more apparent than in cases in other areas of the body. So not only is the communication network impacted here, but it's also going to be uncomfortable, and it may even impact vision and sight. So if we don't deal with the scar tissue, then we're going to end up with a lack of healing, degeneration, and some long-term damage. Things like eye strain can also be treated. Eye fatigue may also be what this is called. This is kind of when your eyes start to hurt because you've been so busy using them, right? You've been focusing intently on something for a while. You might get sore eyes, itchy or burning sensation in the eyes, etc. Definitely ways to utilize microcurrent to help with this. Eye spasms. Now, magnesium typically fixes these little spasms that you get, these little twitches where your eye starts to twitch, kind of like that. It can be fixed with magnesium a lot of the time, but if it can't, then it can be helped with microcurrent pretty effectively. Myopia is another condition, which is your nearsightedness. This is because of a misshaping of the eyeball. So it can certainly be helped there. Amblyopia, also known as lazy eye, where the brain kind of favors the use of one eye. This can also be assisted with microcurrent as well. Both myopia and amblyopia are actually treated the same way as astigmatism, where we are actually exercising the muscles to try and shape the eye properly in the body so that it's actually affected. Uveitis, inflammation of the eye. If you know by now, inflammation and microcurrent kind of go hand in hand. We can do a lot there. You've got astigmatism, which I mentioned already, which is sort of like nearsightedness. It's caused by an eye that is like not in its round shape. The eye focuses light unevenly into the retina, and it kind of distorts everything. So a person with astigmatism sometimes also has myopia. That you can see kind of a connection between those. One of the biggest requested ones we see is age-related macular degeneration. For the most part, this is going to hit people as we get older, and it's the top cause of vision loss in the age group of over 60. For this reason, it's often called age-related macular degeneration, but it's not always age-related. Degeneration of the macula just can occur sometimes, It doesn't usually result in complete blindness, but it will often impair vision to the point of true disability. So vision loss in this way is generally considered irreversible. But provided that we are able to enhance oxygenation by enhancing blood flow and we have the nutrients, there's no reason that macular degeneration should be able to continue. Because as long as you're enhancing that circulation, bringing the oxygen, bringing the nutrients, what you're truly doing is allowing the body to, and the eyes, to be able to repair and heal and not break down. So we typically do not treat wet macular degeneration with microcurrent. So I'm going to make that perfectly clear here. A dry macula is totally fine. Age-related is fine. If it's wet macula, we want to avoid that. Part of the reason for this is just that wet macula tends to result in some bleeding. And with enhancement of circulation, we don't want to create more bleeding. So what we'll be looking at, honestly, is we'd be looking at working with certain things like grapeseed extracts to enhance the strength of the vessels before treating. But we generally just recommend not treating unless someone really wants to. And then we do have a plan we can work on for that. Cataracts, this can be a very common one as well. This is the clouding of the eye, the lens of the eye. And they cause your vision to cloud. It's sort of like trying to see through a foggy window. And this can cause a lot of problems if you're trying to just drive safely, read a book, or even just have conversations with people and know who you're talking to. Acute glaucoma is something we can also work on here. So that's fine. Chronic glaucoma can be harder once it's already caused blindness, but it is something that you can work on trying to reverse, though it may take a significant amount of time. Even things like acute retinal detachment. This is due to lack of blood supply, which causes the retina to detach because it's no longer getting connection from its blood supply. So it can't get the nutrients and oxygen it needs to function properly, and it just dips down. Ocular trauma, right? If you get punched in the face or you walk into a door or something, you can certainly help to heal the whole area around that. But you want to make sure that the swelling, the inflammation doesn't block blood flow and communication. So it's vital, though, in cases of ocular trauma to see an eye doctor and make sure that things are going well there. Honestly, most eye conditions can be treated with the exception of wet macular degeneration that I mentioned before. And they can benefit from microcurrent therapy. And this is because a lack of circulation to the eyes reduces the eye health so dramatically that it causes this drop in electrical potential, drop in cellular activity, and then the whole thing starts to collapse. So we do tend to see varying results. Essentially, what we're looking at here is you use the microcurrent goggles, which I don't have any of at the moment. I'll be just getting some new ones in today. We use the microcurrent goggles. We place them on your eyes. We plug them into your Avazia device, and we're able to set different settings. For the most part, you can treat with the Evolution. You can treat any eye condition. Same with the professional device. If you have the Genesis, you can treat quite a lot of them as well. It's pretty simple. Short 3 to 5 minute treatments are common. The longest, I think, is like a 15-minute treatment for one of the eye conditions. And it's just set the frequency, put the goggles on, and treat. It's very, very simple. Now, what we do tend to see is nothing negative. When using the microcurrent goggles with people, we do see varying results, but to me, it's always positive. Sometimes it simply stabilizes the condition, meaning the condition doesn't get any worse. Sometimes it repairs it somewhat, but not all the way. And other times it does completely reverse it. But one way or the other, depending on when you get in here, you can actually stop and halt the progress of the eye condition from degenerating and getting worse. And at the very minimum, that can be a huge deal, especially if you tackle it quickly. If you find out you've got the formation of cataracts is beginning and you start doing the cataract treatments, it's probably never going to get any worse, which is awesome. Okay, so it was a bit longer than 10 minutes. I apologize for holding you all hostage here for another 5. That's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you think that others could benefit from seeing this video, or you enjoyed it, please give it a like, drop a comment if you have any questions. The more likes it gets, the more it lifts up the page on Facebook. And I noticed this really worked last week because people really enjoyed the video. They put a lot of likes on. They went ahead and commented a lot. and it raised the video up on the page, and then more people were able to see it and benefit from the video as well. I really appreciate it. Anyway, take care. I will see you next week for another Monday 10-minute training.